Okay, it should be on. Uh-oh. Let's test sound. That's not what I wanted. I wanted the other one. I gotta go to your channel. Your channel. Perfect. All right, so sorry for the song, the constant fan noise in the back. I got my little small heater on my feet because my feet get cold in my sunroom because it's all tile, and it's like 37, 35 degrees right now in Southeast Georgia. I guess first, open up this right here. This is a pretty cool picture. Just saw this come up. I'm definitely downloading this. But a nice little car. I like it. And like, look at the stance on it and everything. I don't know what the car that is. I've seen it before so many times, but that is a nice car. Makes me kind of sort of want to watch like Initial D again or something. I love that series. I just watched it. I just rewatched the entire thing probably about 2-3 months ago. Binged the hell out of that sucker. All right, first let's look up the definition between permutations and combinations, because they are different, and the main difference is just the order of things. All right, so permutation can simply be defined as several ways of arranging a few or all few or all members within a specific order. It is the process of legibly arranging from chaos. This is what is termed a permutation. The combination is the process of selecting the object or items from a set or the collection of objects, such that, unlike permutations, the order of selection of objects does not matter. So you can just think of combinations as random, and permutations have an order to them. If you want to put it in data structures, you could look up something like the difference between not an array, but a map versus like a JSON object. A JSON object, the only way you can actually order a JSON object is by saying, hey, listen, I want you to output it in this order, and it would select from that JSON object. But if you have some way that you process that JSON object or take inputs or outputs, what have you, it could write that JSON object how many ever different combinations of the amount of objects within that JSON object. And I'm sure there's a mathematical way of saying it, like, the amount to the nth of whatever. I don't know that well, so I won't act like I do. But then if you look at something like a map is in like an array of JSON objects, but the order matters. So they're not like apples and apples there. It's apples and oranges. But the idea of order versus unordered is what I'm getting at there. So it refers to the combination of n things taken from a group of k at the time without repetition. All right, so what we want to do is essentially I have something that I got to do for my day job, and I have to take, actually we'll have console. So we're using JS Fiddle here. I want to move this up. I want to resize this. Come on. Let me drag you. Great. I can drag other stuff, right? Okay, I just can't drag this. All right, let's see how this looks. See how this looks on my phone. Looks crappy as usual. All right, so yeah, I'll increase the, I'll zoom in more. So essentially, I have a list of things that I have to go through. So we will say it will be an array. So let's define the array var array or var a equals And then that'll be an item in that array. And then from there, I have, no, how I'm going to do this. I want to do it just how I'm going to actually do it for this part of the project. So it's going to be an array of strings. And I'm doing this because of the language that I'm using, which is Groovy. And with Groovy, I have to write, like it doesn't, it's Java-like, and I'm not too experienced with the language fully. So I probably could be doing this in a better manner, if you will. But I'm going to just kind of use what I know. Also, there are some limitations in the way that I'm actually getting the data. So for instance, I'm going to be reading some items, and those items, they will be comma delimited, or comma separated, I should say, a comma separated set of values. And then I still have a, set of values within that I have to actually parse as well, just so I can actually track all these values. So I won't have like full access, or I won't have a JSON-like data structure or anything like that. Also, JSON is not really native to Groovy. It looks like you have to use like a JSON.slurper. And that's a new concept to me in terms of using a JSON.slurper. I'm just so used to JavaScript front end to back end that it's like, okay, I don't have like JSON objects that are native in terms of the way I write them. Like I couldn't write them like I'm doing here. So I'm just going to have to do it with this. So essentially we're going to write the data. It'll be separated by colons, kind of like, so it'll be JSON-like. And it'll be a set of strings separated by colons. So we'll do, we'll say like SA, and then the value, and then like value 1, right? Or value, yeah, we'll say value. No, we'll do SA value. All right, cool. That should be good. So then we do SB and SB value. SC, and then SC value. All right. So with that being said, now I got to take that and loop through this array, right? So Groovy does have for in, so I can actually do this. So for we'll say item. No, I don't want to say item, or I don't want to say I, but let's just say, yeah, we'll do E in A, right? And then we're going to do this. And then essentially I want to take E and then dot split E. This will be pretty short. We'll see. But there's like other things I have to do. So we have to split E. Oh, Topaz, what's up? How are you? I hope everything's well, dear. And I hope you're, I don't know. Like, I know last time we talked, I threw an idea at you. And I don't know where you're at with that, if you ever wanted to do it, but let me know. Always reach out. I hope everything's good. Thanks for dropping by on the stream. I appreciate it. And as always, guys, I do appreciate those that are catching it live and those that are catching the playback. I really do appreciate that. Topaz and I had an interview a while back where we talked about I'm great. I'm doing well my darn self. Like we talked about adoption and the mental stress and the mental aspect and various different aspects of adopting a child. And then mentoring that child for long term. So like adoption, foster, and then also adoption. But I'm doing well. I got a new job, so I've been doing that. And it's been not like kicking my ass in a sense. It's just really like I have had to do a lot of work to find out what exactly I'm going to do. It wasn't clearly defined. So I was able to adapt to that and found something. And then I keep on getting refocused. So it is what it is on that. But at least I'm, getting through it. But yeah, I'm doing well, and I hope you're doing well as well, dear. Keep it techie. What's up, brother? Peace to you as well, man. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Keep It Techie is another brother, of course, in the space, and a lot of you probably know me from Keep It Techie as well, because he does a great bit of work in terms of in terms of doing interviews with Black technology people. Keep it techie. I just got a new job as an engineer. So I just got a new job as an engineer at this company, dealing with some email stuff. So yeah, I'm working and helping them with automation. Hopefully more. I'm getting more into that, but yeah, you know. So definitely. Oh, and I'm also building an automated lawnmower. So I've been making videos about that. Right now, I'm looking at. In fact, I guess I could show you guys. Like, this is how my desk looks. Let me turn my camera on. And then add that to stream. But essentially, my desk looks like this. This is my and Moody Bears. I appreciate you showing up, man. It's the first time I'm seeing you in the chat. Oh, keep it techie, man. I appreciate you sharing the stream, bro. Love it, man. I love you, bro. Thank you. Appreciate you so much and what you do for the space and other brothers in it. But so I got a DC powered DIN mountable PoE switch. That PoE switch goes to this Raspberry Pi using this PoE splitter here, and that splits off the PoE power to Ethernet and splits it to power the actual Raspberry Pi. And then I have the Raspberry Pi via USB A to B cable connected to Arduino. And you could see with this is the mounting board that I had in that special case or the toolbox that I've been tricking out. So yeah, this is kind of how my desk looks. And I was working on this and updating my setup script, which was like horrible. And I got that working to where that's a lot better. But yeah, working more with like solar panels and stuff like that and solar energy. But that's what I'm working on. That's another thing, man. So like, keep it techie. We do keep it techie over here. Appreciate you as always, bro. Let me catch up. Just shared the stream. Thank you. Sisters. Yeah, Topaz. Yeah, that is the work to do when you have to define your own job. The thing is with the job, like, you know, I knew kind of I had to go into an environment like that. So it wasn't so surprising. It's just when you're working on something, it's like, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? And then, you know, getting changed is like, okay, you changing me, is it because I was doing the wrong thing? Am I getting all the right information? So I'm not trying to take it to heart, not trying to make it hurt my ego or anything like that. It's just I want to make sure that I'm performing and delivering is my biggest thing. So I also have to calm down myself. Yes, thanks for the congratulations. Congratulations for the new job. I appreciate that. Moody Bears, how long have I been using JavaScript? I've been using JavaScript, since like 4 or 5 years now. It's probably going on 5 years. I started working with it back in late 2016, 2017, working on a project called the Growbox project, which was environmental control systems for container-based farms. So essentially, you take a shipping container and turn it into a farm. Okay, I'm willing, but I will email you my idea to implement it to protect the participants. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, whatever you got. Yeah, let's definitely hook up on that in any way, shape, or form that I can help. That would be awesome. Also, will you be willing to do I'm gonna just say yes. I haven't finished reading it. On my channel about coding for beginners, I can email you the questions. Yes, you can definitely email me the questions on that. Let's get together on that for sure. For sure. Hey, totally. Listen, you did me a solid by coming to my channel and doing an excellent interview, guys. Definitely go through my channel. It's under discussion, and it is I think a MGTOW retirement topic too. But it was just talking about adoption and, you know, the things that you have to be prepared for as an adoptive parent, and of course dealing with the child as well, and any issues that they may have because of, you know, going through the system. To be honest, you're doing a good career, but IRA above, but I really am. I don't know what IRA means. I'm sure it's like I really am above. Oh, okay. I really am above my understanding. Oh, it's really above my understanding. Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, you know, it's like I try to like you know, not dumb it down, but put it in the vernacular in a sense to where people can understand it. But yeah, it's not always for everybody. All right. Have you worked on any games before? No, I'm not into like making any games or anything like that. It's okay. Okay, it's okay. ITS. Okay. I'm not really into making any games. I will send you my GitHub. I am treestarsystems on GitHub. Um, this project, it was not finished, and it's something that I do want to get back to, along with a lot of other ones. And but you kind of see what I have to do during the day. The grow. Oh, nice. All right. My hope is that my hope is that someone who views my channel may connect with you and learn something. For sure, for sure. I'm here to help out people. Any questions you guys have with my limited knowledge, I will try and help you as best as possible. And you know, just try to put the information out there because I know how it is to, like, you know, it's awesome to have that one person you can always go to for information. And it's hard when you don't have that, you know, like, because you're just all over the place. But that also, you know, being all over the place actually helps you with, you know, kind of what I'm dealing with at my job. And it's not a bad thing at my job. It's not a horrible thing or anything like that. It's just, you know, you got to be strong-willed, tough-minded, and stuff like that just to get through all that stuff. Excuse me. All right, cool. Let's get to it. But yeah, Moody Bears, definitely check out my my GitHub and some of the stuff I have on there. And Topaz, I hope to hear from you soon about that, and we can get together and talk about it a little bit more. I could try and help out. Maybe we can make it like a you know a more in-depth conversation in terms of, or a larger conversation if you want. If you can invite Keep It Techie. I've never talked with him personally, but I would like to definitely talk with him more as well. But I do like his content and what he does. Lionel, what's up, brother? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you as always. All right. Sorry for the screen quality. I got my first paycheck today, but I have a couple other things. I want to kind of like put that, kind of just let that check sit and not do anything with it. And then next check is when I'll start spending and getting some more stuff. I went kind of crazy for my birthday weekend. I bought all like I got $1,000+ worth of equipment for this new project. So, and I was working on it as well as relaxing as well. So, yeah. All right. So, okay. All right, so yeah, let's get back into it. So the problem I'm having is I need permutations. I need to go through an array, and I need array to act on or communicate. The problem I'm having is I have, say, 3 points. Each one of those points will have to communicate with the other points within the array, right? So, for instance, like we'll probably, in terms of testing it, we'll just have it concatenate. So essentially, I should be able to do concatenate SA with SB, SA with SC, but not SA with itself, right? So like, how do I do that? And then I have to do, after that, I have to go through into the next one and say SB concatenate with SA, and SC and SB concatenate with SC, and then move through it. And then once it's all done, stop, right? And then I should have, I think it's like, is it 9? I think I have 9 combinations or something like that, or 9 permutations of all this. So let's fumble through this. All right. So, for E, and then we're going to split it. This split will happen later. So, but let's just get something quick out of the way. SS will stand for split string, and we'll just console.log SS. And I don't know how to exactly do this. Like, you know, like how am I going to actually make all this work? So we do have jsfiddle.net. And with this, let's go ahead and run it. So 0, 1, 2, right? 0, 1, 2. split. That's kind of weird. Why am I doing that? All right, let's run that. 0, 1, and 2. Var A. For E, creating global variable var in A. SS E. Wait. No, it should be for in. It should take whatever the value is at that point in the array. All right. 0, 1, 2. Why am I get 0, 1, 2? Now, the thing is, I'm expecting it to do something like, this is how you do it in a regular for loop. Oh, wow. I guess you got to do it like that in there, too. All right. For in E. Am I thinking of a for of? For of loop. JS. So for of. Oh, I'm thinking of a for of. I guess that's fine. So yeah, I'm thinking of a for of loop because if I did like a for of, oops, multi-line comment here. I do a for of, then E will equal whatever the value is at that point in the array, right? So you can see like how that outputs there. And then I could probably do like a for. And what I was putting out before was, or what it was outputting before was just the point in the index, or the point in the array, which is the index itself. So E, and then I could do split, and then I could do I just have a habit of doing that. Boop, 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 and then that should be it. Run syntax after argument. E that split. Oh, I put another thing there. Yeah, and then that's kind of what I'll get. And that's eventually what I want to get is something like this. So yeah, we're just gonna like find the permutations, right? So like, how do I calculate permutations? I want to try and think through this myself. Let me take out my earpiece. I can hear all the noise around. Actually, no, let me put my earpiece in. Because my earpiece is like pretty nice, even though I'll just hear myself, but like my earpiece is actually does pretty well with noise canceling, and this fan below that you guys hear is kind of sort of getting on my nerves. So I do have for in available. So let's get rid of that because I don't have a for of a loop available that I know of in Groovy script or Apache Groovy. Oh, I erased too much. All right, so for in, and I'm a console A E. So for in A E. Now what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to track, and I'll probably have to do like a multiple in. So I need to get the first item in the array and then move from there and increment. So for each item in the array, and I mean, I might just have to do a regular for loop, which will give me a little bit more quote unquote power, if you will, or flexibility with stuff. So let's define that. So we'll do I equals 0, and then semicolon, and then I is less than a dot length, semicolon, and then we'll do I in increment. So now Now that I have that, actually, let's move this up so we get a couple more lines. So now that I have that, now I can say I need to I plus 0. Let's do a count. All right, so console probably need like an if statement. So if um, so I is we're going to do something like if it's not equal to the current position, then process it. So when I'm thinking about this type of stuff, and maybe I could work faster, maybe I could just Google faster, but maybe I could work faster. Usually, like doing this by myself because I'm just talking to myself. But talking with you guys, this is how I do it. Is like I talk to myself about it. So now I'm talking to you, the audience, those people that are actually watching here. And if I'm doing this, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, okay, well, how would I figure this out? My problem is, and again, this is talking to myself, but I'm talking to you instead. My problem is I want to process the first item, but I don't want I want to process every item except for the first item. Or I want to process the first item, but nothing else. Right? I do this. Voodoo Bears. I do the same. Yeah, there's like it's like the rubber ducky scenario. There's a really good video by Coder, female coder, does a lot of CSS front end web work, and she talks about the rubber ducky thing. So that's like when you're talking to somebody else. Some guy brought in a rubber ducky. He talks to the rubber ducky when he's actually trying to debug his code, because by explaining to the rubber ducky what he wants to do, then it helps him visualize the code and then also possibly debug it. So what I want to do, I want to concatenate the current position with every other value in the array. So I can do a whole bunch of if statements, but then that doesn't scale, because it's like, you do it for like, my array may not be fixed length, right? So if I is equal to array I is equal to the current value or our current position. So how do we get our current position in an array? That one, no. Get current position in array. Yes. Index of. All right, so if I is equal to, damn it, I don't know how to do this. I know I need to take the first value and go to all the subsequent values. So A0. To loop through it. And if I loop through this, let's make sure my loop works. Let me make sure I understand what the hell I'm doing here with this loop. SA value, SAB value, and then so if AI equals AI equals my problem. Oh, wait. If I'm working with AI, I could work with, okay, if I'm going to concatenate every time I might have, so I know I'm going to have to do 2 loops in this, right? So I know, okay, perfect. I know I'm going to have to do 2 loops in this. Right, that's my problem. So, ooh, breakthroughs. All right, so we could do like a for in on this one, but let's just do IL, and that will be inner loop equals 0. And actually, no. I plus 1. We can't even do I plus 1, I think. All right, let's just work this out. I plus 1. And as long as IL is less than A dot length, because we still need to reference the original array itself. And then we're going to increment IL for each success there. So we want to, let's see what this produces here. IL. What do we want to do here? So we want to do IL A dot length, IL less than A dot length. I think we're going to do -1 here. No. Need to loop through this, and then IL plus I. Damn it, I had it for 1 second, now I lost it. Okay, so I need to loop through this, and then I need to find the value. Faber says, what are you working on? Essentially, I'm working on permutations here. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to run through an array of values or array of strings. And then I want to concatenate the array of string. I want to concatenate one item in that array with the other items in that array, and then move on. Right? So SA should concatenate with SB and SC. Or like, one after another once I iterate through it. And then SB will do the same thing, but it won't do it with itself. So I think what I have to do is, like, when I do I have to increment my position because I will give me I console.log it will iterate through it, right? So I'll do run. It'll do 0, 1, 2, right? Now that I have 0, 1, 2, I want to take let's do let current element equal AI, right? And then now that I have my current element, now I want to take the current element and do it with and then do it. I want to take the current element and combine it with every other element in that array, right? So for loop, bring back the for loop. Right. So then when I take that current element that I have, I want to have the current element. And if then I want to loop through the array again. So it's just inner loop. If 0, IL. So then I want to if current element, because it since it's a loop within a loop, it'll take the inheritance, or it'll inherit. It's a part of its lexical scope, so it's or linked lexical scope, I believe, is what it is. So essentially, it will take the values of the. It'll take the values of, or you can use the values of the items in the parent closure or within the parent closure, and then you can go up from there. And if it can't find anything, then it'll say, hey, undefined. Me explaining that shows that I need to go back and listen to my JavaScript class. But I know what I'm doing. Okay. All right. So if current element equals, we're right there. AIL. And to make this quote unquote cleaner, let's define a variable. Let next element equal a IL, right? Because we still have to reference the original array because we need the items out of it, which is why we keep on referencing it. But we need to process that array, or we need to go through that array twice in a sense. So next element, right? So if current array equals next element, actually no, if current element is not equal to next element, I want you to console log I don't want to do this in 2 lines, so we're gonna concatenate the two. So yeah, we could just do current element. Those names are too long for me. CE, NE and CE will be the new names. Hopefully those aren't used. Oh no, okay. I'm just not getting the text text highlighting because it's not defined. NE. So now if I want to concatenate 2 different things, I don't have to do a template literal or anything like that. I can if I want it to be a little bit nicer string, but I can just do console log and then parentheses, or not parentheses, but comma, and that should be it there. All right, cool. Let's see what we got. I think we're kind of close. Let's see. So SA, SB, SA, SC, SB, SA, SB, SC. Oh, shoot. I look like a programmer. SC, SA, SC, SB. Hey, look at that. Now, those are permutations. Now let's also console log. Within this, we can do. Ooh, can we do it within the loop here? We're gonna have to expand our if statement. So let count. I'll do C because we're lazy, even though we just typed it out. Let count equal 0. And we can't do this in a one-liner, not that I know of. So because we'll have parsing errors, I guess. We can kind of do it in a one-liner. We just have the curly braces in one line. But if that's the point, then, or if that's the case, then what's the point? And then we'll do C++, not the language, just incrementing C. You like that? Programmer joke. I should be someone's father because I have horrible jokes. All right, cool. So along with this, I'm going to do I'm gonna do C. I'm gonna see C++ beforehand. Oh, and C++, right? And then C++, and then we're going to do. Now we'll do some template literals because we got to make it look fancy, baby. I'm gonna make it do what it do. All right, cool. So I'm gonna do count. Template literals are great. I'm sure they're in other languages because I'm just a JavaScript guy, right? So when I do when I'd be amazed sometimes. I'd be like, oh my God, they got template literals too. Not really understanding oh my God, template literals came from freaking C or something. And I'll be like, wow, man, JavaScript is great. It's influencing other languages. And it's just like, no, noob. You just never learned you never really got into other languages. So they've been doing that. JavaScript just finally got off in a sense, not got off their ass. Guys do great job, great work, because they'll tell me when I'm wrong and stuff in terms of the code producing errors. But they finally start adding some of these things, such as using the I forgot what they call it, man. It's I think it's object coalescing or something like that, where essentially instead of having a whole bunch of if statements, like if key is in object, then go ahead and do this. And then if you don't have to do a whole bunch of nesting. I can show you better than I can tell you. I think it's object coalescing, but essentially instead of doing if, say you have let JSON object JO equals this here. I could say key value. So instead of saying if key value and then, oh no, that value could be another JSON value, key within key, so key wick, and then that has a value of value, right? So then instead of doing that, instead of having if statements, whereas if jo dot key to make sure it actually exists, and then do if jo. I'm sure you guys already get the point because I'm just taking my sweet ass time. Jo key dot key wick, right? And then from there go on from there. Now it's to the point where you could do if, and then you could do jo. I think it's I think the proper way of doing it is question mark period, and then you can do key. If I could type key question mark period, you can keep on doing that and chaining it together. I believe that's something that's I was oh man, that's amazing, and I think it's in ES6 or something like that. And then my friend says, oh, yeah, we've been doing that in Ruby for like freaking decades or something. You know, I'm like, oh, damn, JavaScript, what took y'all so long? And it's all red because I gotta put this together here. So console log CE NE. Yeah, so that cleans that up. But I believe that is called object coalescing. Object coalescing. Coalescing. How do you spell coalesce? Coalescing. The search engine will fix it. There we go. Excuse me. Utilize nullish coalescing. Oh, it's spelled with the E. Object coalescing. Yes. Okay. I want to find this, and I'll link the article to you guys, so you guys could like understand what the hell I'm talking about, and I can understand it. New to ES6. I'm having problems with like I think my keyboard and mouse. JavaScript. Map of objects. Is res, promises, array of functions. Let's do, is it period? Oh. For of loop, looping, mapping, JavaScript set objects, set classes, or using classes, JavaScript promises, symbol type, parameter values, rest parameter, okay, string includes, ends with, oh, okay. The ends with method returns true if a string ends with a specified value, otherwise false. Okay, returns true. Okay, oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool for in terms of like just like, you know, parsing through text. If it ends with a certain value, that could be useful. I'm glad I made this mistake. Array from. I mean, and like, see, even this array from, the way it would be like done in a sense, not now, but previously, you would just do like a split or something like that, and it would split this into it. And it probably does split under the hood. It's just another way of doing it, but not totally, because you could do an array from on other types of like data structures or objects, or like, you know, strings or what have you. And or the best way I know where it actually converts something to a true array is when you're working with a node list on front end JavaScript. So with front end JavaScript, if you have something like document.querySelectorAll, that's not a true array. It is known as a node list. And then you can use something like array from to convert it to a true array. And then you can start running array-like functions on it. In some cases, it will do it already and it'll like work properly. But in some cases, you will be thrown an error. And I can't think of it in my head. But in some cases, you'll be thrown an error if you try and do some array-like functions to it or something like that. Like, for instance, if you do like a maybe even if you iterate through it, but you can iterate through a document query selector all node list. But a node list isn't truly an array, though. So you would use something like this. In fact, let's do try it for yourself So get element by ID, array from method is not supported in Internet Explorer. Okay. The method returns an array object from any object with a length property or any iterable object. So in this case, you can iterate through this because that could be split at each character, and you can even split it if you wanted to. If you wanted to if you just want to take a string, you take that string and then you run split against it with no actual delimiting character, then it will split that accordingly. But get element ID in my array. Yeah, it's not what I was expecting for a demo. I was expecting something maybe like not better, but just different. Array keys. Method returns an array iterator object with the keys of an array. Something like this. Dot keys. Let's see here. It does. Oh, 0, 1, 2, 3 is not support. Okay. The array.keys method returns an array iterator object with the keys of an array or of the array. So in this case, when it says keys, it just means the actual index of those items. One thing that's really nice is object.keys. Oh my God, object.keys is freaking amazing. I had to use that in a project recently. And with object.keys, if you want to get all the keys out of an object, just to say, hey, listen, what are the keys that I have available to me that I can iterate through, or that I can actually look at and say, hey, I just want these keys. And this is like, you can take those keys and say, hey, listen, I want these keys as columns or something like that, or rows in an Excel spreadsheet. So object.keys, which is really nice. In fact, object properties and probably object methods. Iterables, let's see here, and object methods. Open that in a new tab, and we'll go back to the feature that I'm trying to figure out. I'm really not stalling on that, but I'm finding some pretty interesting stuff here. And I like to do this because it's like, it explores. It's not exactly what I was looking for, and I've already figured out my problem. This is giving me all my permutations here. In fact, let's get through this here and run this. So, oh, wow, that just loops that. Okay, and that resets that. C's got to be outside. Right. And because it'll reset it every time. And we'll do var. So, yeah, it looks like it gives me 6 different permutations. I think that's right. SC is SA, SC is SB. Yeah. So with this script, I have to have, these 2 points communicating with one another, or these 2 points doing something, and going from there. So, and then I have to actually split these. All right. In fact, let's save that. Oh, excuse me. And if you guys want, you can actually work on that fiddle and work with permutations. And as it was defined before or earlier at the beginning of the stream, permutations is essentially an ordered stepping or ordered iteration through an array, whereas what's it called? Not permutations, but combinations is an unordered step through an array, right? Or in this case, set of values. You have a combination lock, where I remember reading somewhere a combination lock is not really a combination lock, it's a permutation lock or something like that. And I was just like, I've always tried to find that article again, and like the way it explained it, because it said that a combination lock is not random, it's an actual set of numbers, and you have an order to it, whereas a true combination lock would be what's it called every time? It would be different order every single time. And I was like, oh, wow. That's like the difference between effect and affect. Effect and affect. And I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Look at that. English nerd. So find index, array.find index. Find index method returns the index of the first array element that passes a test function. That's cool because you can start doing string combinations, right? So return value of greater than 18. Oh, okay. Okay. So here, first number over 18 has an index of 3. Oh, so if I'm going through this, it says, oh, okay, this is the first thing that matches that. That's really nice because if you're going through an array of values, then you don't, or array of values, and you want to stop at the first, match and work with that. Maybe take that first match, pop it off, and then iterate through it again. May not be the best way of doing it, but that's a nice way of doing it. That's a nice way of saying, okay, hey, listen, I want to get the first match. Once I get the first match, I don't care about any other matches. I had to do that with a for loop, but the way I actually got out of that is by using a break statement. So this is a little bit quote unquote cleaner, if you will, where instead of using a break statement, I can use this. This is kind of cool. So, but index numbers. So const number, but I don't see where it says array.find index. So I guess this is just like a way of doing it as opposed to like an actual array like fun. Oh, okay, here we go. Numbers.find index and then my function. Oh, okay. So you pass array.index, all right? So whatever the array is. Oh, okay. So you could just do find index on an array. Because I know sometimes what you can do is just call this function here and feed it the array in a sense or something like that. So I've seen that before, like array from. Like when you do array from, you do it within these curly braces or within the parentheses there. All right, cool. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That is really cool. Let's get to some of this other stuff here and get back to our search for the thing I was talking about earlier. JavaScript iterables, iterating over a string, iterating over an array, iterators, keys. Get that keys. No, that's not what I was looking for. JavaScript setter, getter, data quality, define property. We can just do object dot keys. So object dot keys. The object dot keys method returns an array of given objects, own enumerable properties in the same order as that provided by a for in loop. The difference being that a for in loop enumerates properties in the prototype chain as well. I don't totally understand prototyping because I think JavaScript is a prototypical prototypal language. I don't know all of that, to be honest. But in this case, it'll tell me like if I do, oh shoot, I haven't been zooming in. So object.keys, essentially it'll tell me like, hey, listen, these are all the keys, and it'll give me an array of all those keys, and then I can do whatever I need to, probably make those into columns or what have you. Alrighty. All right. 2 is 6. Script 6, new features, overview, comparison. Destructuring. Proxying. Class definition. I'm going to send this to you guys. This is pretty cool. Okay, it's the first one. Yes. So that's a new ES6 features list here. That's what I'm looking at. Spread operator, default parameters value, expression bodies. Statement bodies. Lexical this. Oh man, working with this in lexical environments. Let's just say this is a pain. But it's useful in some cases. Raw string. The destructuring piece is like such a big thing in ES6, using spread operators and things like that. Spread and rest operator, which is the same. It just has a different meaning in certain or different contexts. It looks the same. It's like 3 dots. You can like spread an array. You can actually use 1 triple dot and then 5, and then that allows you to actually like use it as almost like a range, if you will. Is it safe destructuring? But that's a template literal. That's not template. That's a ternary operator. Context matching. All right, I'm gonna let it go because I don't want to get like way too far in the weeds. Kind of out there already. I'm like drowning in the swamp here in a sense and like going off on tangents. But I wanted to show you guys that, which is something very not groundbreaking, but very important, I think, and definitely helps shorten up your code. And that's one thing you want to do is like as you're going on in coding, you want to learn ways of shortening up that code. Now, also, you don't want to sacrifice human readability for your code just by shortening it up. You want to shorten it up, but that makes it just easier and possibly easier to parse, or sorry, not parse, easier to understand or a little bit more efficient. But you don't want it to be where it's like, oh my God, I don't understand what this guy's doing because there's not enough. They're using guard statements more, or they're using the shorthand for everything, and it's harder for like even a human to read because humans do like those closures. They do like, for instance, if I write a if statement, they want the curly braces there in some cases instead of using a guard statement. Now, guard statements is not as bad. You can get a little bit more extreme with it, and you can do a lot of stuff like on one line. But some things you don't want it minified. You want it to be where it is actually collation. You want it to be where it is expanded, and then by it being expanded, then you could read a little bit. You can read it a lot easier as a human. All right, so yeah, I don't know where that thing is. I'll post it in the comment section for those that are watching the playback here. I'll probably find it after the stream, like in 2 seconds. But essentially, we wanted to get all the permutations, and we wanted to do the permutations because we want to step through this and not communicate with itself. So if we wanted to take itself out of the, or we want to take not the itself, but we want to take the item at that index that is being processed. We don't want it to be processed with itself. So I shouldn't be getting SA concatenated with SA in this case, right? So SA shouldn't be concatenated with SA. It should only be doing SA or SB, SC, so on and so forth. And then what's nice about this is since it's using for loops and an array, then all I have to do is just have a larger array, or array of items. So for instance, I can take whatever my data set is, and maybe it's a string, right? So maybe this is not a clean array per se, but maybe it's a string of values. Ooh, excuse me. How would I do that? So string of values, and I would just use split in that case, right? So var a equals here, and then I would have all of my strings in there. Because this is essentially how my data set's going to look. And So C, C, B, B. And then so I might do like var AS, right? Because it's going to be A dot split the string. And we can just, I think I can just get away with what? Why is it? That's a comma, dude. What am I? Oh, that is not a comma. That's this. There we go. We can get away with this. We're gonna do AS, AS, and this is a good thing about defining all this stuff. AS. There's only a few places that I gotta change that. Okay, so run the unexpected token. Yeah, there we go. I do have to. There's a string. There we go. Getting to get away with it like I thought. All right, cool. So, and that's the same way. Like, you know, I can take all these now and I could break these apart. Now, now that I have, you know, my set of information, now I can move through it and do whatever I need to in terms of matching stuff in an array or from an array or something like that of these different values. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It took an hour to get through that, but or it took me a minute. Like, you know, the brain was not moving for a second, man. Oh my God. But I wanted to work on this. This is a project that I got to deal with my day job. It's a small part of a much bigger project. I got to write a script in Apache Groovy. I got to write a script in Apache Groovy, and essentially I have to write it to where I take an array of items, and those array of items will be information that communicates, uses information to communicate with other points and things like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Guys, as always, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you so much. And, you know, listen, I hope you got something out of this. I hope you can use this to move forward in your own journey with this type of stuff. And I hope I can find what I was looking for earlier and I can send that to you guys or put that in the comment section. Moody Bears, thank you, man. I appreciate you joining. I really do, and I like the interaction, guys. You know, if like for instance, I'm working on a problem like that, I do like working on it myself. On what social medias are you most active? My most active social media is YouTube. I do stuff on YouTube. I don't do anything anywhere else. It's not that I don't want you to know my information. If you watch enough of my videos, you could probably knock on my door tomorrow. But probably shouldn't have said that. Anyways. But yeah, the most thing I'm active on is YouTube, watching a lot of content and then posting one or two things here. I can't think of anything else that I'm actually active on. Honestly, yeah, like YouTube and emails, man. If you ever want to hit me up via email or anything else like that, it is just this at Gmail. Yeah, if you ever want to contact me via email, you can go ahead and do that. I'm a bit of an introvert. I do have Facebook, never go on it. In fact, I haven't gone on it and gotten any, like, you know, gone through the whole bunch of birthday wishes and stuff that I get every year. And it's like, I haven't even done that. And that was like Saturday was my freaking birthday. Okay, I have a JavaScript question. May I email you some questions? Yeah, you can. You can also ask them here when I am live. This was a bit of an impromptu live. I usually go live on Friday or Saturday, and sometimes in between. I've been very, very spotty with that lately for the past couple months. But you know, I'm sorry about that. I have no good explanation for that other than this. I stream when I want to. So even with this, I wanted to turn this into a stream because I do want to get more content and get back into streaming a little bit more and just using up some more of my time, man, and putting that stuff out there. Working through these problems are fun. You know, I'm not really quote unquote getting paid for what I'm doing right now, but it helps me. And I believe that, you know, if you want to do more, if you want to do better, you do more, right? So working through these problems on my own time and coming up with these solutions will help me in my day job, make me look better, and also progress the projects that my team is working on. So That's what I believe everyone should do in terms of getting better, doing better. If you want more, you do more, plain and simple. So go ahead and do more. You know, if you have questions for me, I'll answer them as best as possible. I've also done JS fiddles with people on the stream, so I can invite you up to the stream, and then we can actually go through a JS fiddle that we share. JS fiddle is a great bit of software here, or web application, to where you can actually share this JS fiddle with other people, so you can actually collaborate, which is really nice. And when you can collaborate, then I can send you the link, you can send me a link, and then I can actually look at all types of other stuff. All righty. As always, if you're not taking what I say with a grain of salt, you're low on sodium. Go ahead and do your research, find out more information, do some exploration, screw up, and take time on a project and thinking about it to the point where it's like you can actually be better at it and get to a better place with it. Like fumble around, futz around, and just do more. All right. All righty. With that being said, thank you so much, and I hope you guys grow and progress to be better programmers and ultimately better people. Peace. Love y'all.